going live. Okay, we should be back up and running. I apologize. We're trying to fix the stream settings. According to Tom, we're good. It looks horrible on our end for some reason. So
Are we actually live
we'll
again?
we are actually live.
Okay.
And now it looks fine on my end. So I don't know.
Yeah, now it looks great. All right. Well, whatever.
Okay.
Sorry for the confusion. We're terrible.
Yeah. Okay. So back where we were about to talk about, NASCAR and iRacing have announced a console game for 2025, meaning Motorsports Games is gone. Thank God.
Yes.
About time.
Rejoice.
I'm so excited.
Dude, it's going to be so good. I'm so hoping for a Dirt to Daytona too.
Yeah. And so not only is it a console game, it is on Steam, which means PC users can play it, which hopefully we have, multi-platform or cross-play or whatever it's called. It's also on Switch, which...
Good luck to Switch users.
Yeah, I like.
Did you see the Mortal Kombat port?
No.
Oh my God! Look at if you have some time, look up the Mortal Kombat 1 Nintendo Switch port. It is so bad.
I believe it. Do you know what F-Zero is?
Yes.
So they made an F-Zero game, but they made it Battle Royale. You start with 100 people out there, and there's like a damage meter, so you can like damage people and they blow up and get eliminated. And I think every lap, like so many get eliminated.
Oh wow!
It looks amazing. Like I thought I kind of want to get it just to get it. I loved F-Zero back in the day, but all right, but yeah, no big gaming news. We hope IndyCar's next. Like, please, for the love of God, IndyCar.
The start of MSG just falling apart. Their games have just been fucking trash, and they run by a con man, and it's terrible. So I was super excited to see it on Steam. I was worried about super excited to see this was going to be on Steam. I was worried about they were going to give it the World of Outlaws treatment where it was just console only, and then I know people are like, "Oh, we'll just play iRacing." Oh God, now our cameras are completely gone.
That's my fault. I was posting a new link in Discord.
Oh,
for some reason, when I click out of it, it'll come back up in a second.
Okay. But yeah, people were like, "Oh, why don't you just play iRacing?" It's like there is a completely different experience there. Like, iRacing is when I'm feeling super sweaty and I want to get on and have a hardcore simulation racing experience. But I still like a casual racer. I mean, I'm sitting here playing Forza Motorsport right now. You know, I like a just sit back, pick up a controller, and play a racing game. You know, run through a NASCAR career mode. You know, something like that. We were just kind of more relaxed and just vibing and playing a game. You know, couch gaming. You know, that's what that experience is. And I wanted that from the World of Outlaws game, but I don't have a console, so I can't play it. So they'll be bringing this one to Steam. You can. Yeah, so I'm super pumped.
So the guys I play games with outside of, just living the podcast life, we call it feet up gaming, right? So you kind of just relax and you play, and that's, the difference. You got iRacing where you got to be into it. Your steering wheel, pedals, you're full in this. There's practice, qualifying, all this. This is going to be, I lean my chair back, I got my controller here, and I'm just fucking going. So I'm excited. Like you said, Dirt to Daytona, one of the best games, NASCAR games ever made.
I just played through it the other week on my emulator.
So I don't want to get too much into it because we will have a question in our OnlyFans segment about this.
Oh, okay. Yes. Exciting.
Yeah. So we're going to move on. We're going to talk about some just general news here. We got Frankie Muniz. He is stuck in the middle tier car. He is going to race RSS Racing in the Xfinity Series next year. We have another mid driver. Haley Deegan will be running the 15 car for AM Racing. Why?
Money, I guess.
What do you think? So here's my thing. She's going to run for a bad team. They're going to make an excuse, be like, oh, it's the car. And then she's going to get like in the 98 car, because she's a Ford driver, right? I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like the 98 car, one of the Ford cars that's top tier, and she's still going to be, 15th, 20th place at best.
I mean, I think if she, so to me, the biggest problem is she seems to be crashing a lot, right? Like that's what you got to fix. You're running where the car is supposed to run. That's whatever. But are you running there cleanly and not getting into trouble? That's what I think will be like her goal, so to speak. Just run
Keep it
wherever the car
clean.
is capable of and don't wreck it. And I'm not saying
Yeah.
that all the crashes are her fault. I'm just saying she seems every time I watch a truck race, which fair enough isn't much. It seems like she's usually involved with some sort of kerfuffle somewhere.
Yep.
So I don't know.
It's
We'll see.
I don't think that's her only problem. I mean, she's in one of the best trucks, and one of the best trucks in a top tier truck, and she's not breaking the top 10 unless if a bunch of people wreck. And then we see intentional wrecks between her and Dean Thompson. I mean, it happened like 4 or 5 times this year. I'm not sure where her career goes from here. Like I said, I think they're going to make excuses the first year, say, oh, it's the car, which AM Racing, okay, it's the car, right?
Right.
But she should be able to go out and run 25th, keep the car clean, and maybe some top 20s, and I'll be like, okay, good for her. But I don't see that happening.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see what happens, but she's just got to run where the car is capable of running and not wreck it.
Yep. Chandler Smith linked to a move to JGR, possibly the 18 car in Xfinity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big loss for Colleague, I think.
I mean, I said it before. I think Colleague is in serious trouble.
I don't
They've got
disagree.
something going on. We'll talk about it now, I guess. But the the whole thing with AJ Allmendinger and possibly not being back in the 16 next year. Why would you not have AJ in Cup next year? Like who else
Yep.
are you going to put in that car that's actually capable of winning a race? Because you can say AJ has a solid shot of winning
Every
5
road
times a
course.
year,
Yep.
which is 5 times, which will get you into the playoffs. Who can you say that about? You can't say that about Daniel Hemrick. He's won one race. You can't say that
Yep.
about Justin Haley, who you used to have. Like you don't even have Justin Haley anymore. So
Plate tracks. That's it. Plate tracks.
yeah,
You know?
which
And
I
even
guess there's
then, they weren't there.
6 of those now, but I don't know. It's just the stuff they're doing, and like the move with what really opened my eyes was the move when they took AJ from Richmond, didn't have him qualify, and had him run Road America. Like to me, that was just a move of like you're doing that because you need to get a win.
Yep.
Because they were
100%.
fighting for a playoff spot at that point. So it's like I just thought Colleague was desperate for a win for something. Like they needed something to happen. So I don't know, and it didn't. You did that move, and then you didn't even end up winning anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I mean, Chris Rice did. In that Jordan Bianchi clip you shared, Chris Rice did say there's an announcement coming. They know what they're doing, so we'll see what their announcement is. Maybe they will say we got AJ Allmendinger next year, but rumor is
Yeah.
he's going back to Xfinity, if anything.
Yep. He's going to go back to Xfinity and win and make them some money, which is what they need. But I mean, I mentioned in Discord after the race that, the reactions from Chris Wright and Matt Colleague after AJ won, like the emotions and everything was the thank God I'm safe from bankruptcy emotion.
Yeah.
And I mean, they were excited, which I get it. You just won a cup race, you have, last 2 years, or just was it last year? I don't remember. But either way, like I get being excited, but there's something else going on behind the scenes. You're not keeping your drivers. You need money.
Yeah.
And like you said, the Road America move was we're gonna go win some money. Didn't work out that way. So I think you're right. I think he's probably going back to Xfinity. We're gonna see a money driver come up and run the 16.
Yeah. I think that's what they're trying to do is position somebody with money to come on up. Honestly, if I'm AJ and I lose that cup ride and go back to Xfinity, I'm not all that mad because I mean, he's gonna go back to Xfinity. He's gonna do very well there. He's gonna win at ovals and stuff like that, which you can't really say he's gonna do in Cup.
Yep.
He's gonna have to race fewer weekends a year, and he's got a kid now and all that, so that's important, I'm sure. And I mean, being a high end Xfinity driver, you still make decent money. So I don't know. I wouldn't be super mad. I think it's there might be some writing on the walls for Colleague is the way I'm seeing it.
Yeah. Which, speaking of AJ's kid, Arrow James So he's a little AJ. I like
Oh,
it.
there you go.
Yep. All right. Other news. Carson Hocevar finally announces officially he is in the 77 Spire car next year.
We all knew it was happening.
Yeah, months ago. It was happening. Yep. We knew it. But finally official. And then Matt Kenseth joins Legacy Motor Club as a competition advisor.
I thought that was a meme. That's a real thing?
That's a real thing.
Wow.
So he joined. He walked in the building and went, "You guys need to be faster." And they go, "Yes." So good for him. I mean, you got... Is he a Hall of Fame driver? I feel like he is.
Who, Matt Kenseth? Like, yeah. Is he officially or should he be?
Yes.
I don't know if he is actually in one, but in the Hall of Fame. But yes, he's a Hall of Fame driver in my eyes.
Yeah. So you got two of them running that team. Got to go up, right? Now you're switching teams to Toyota. I think it's possible. I'm excited to see what that team does next year. I mean, look at what they found something after the whole Gregson issue, and that team's fast, and you know they put some good finishes together. So they're moving in the right direction.
They're really weird though, because they're fast when you think they'd be falling off. Like, yeah. Because they're cutting ties with Chevy. Chevy's cutting them out of meetings and stuff like that, not sharing data anymore. So it's like, where are you getting the speed at?
Well, maybe they hadn't cut ties officially with Chevy until the owner's stuff took off, and then Toyota started giving them some hints and helping them out.
Maybe Toyota's stepping in already. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Yep. That's my working theory. It's probably wrong, but that's kind of where I'm at.
I mean, it's not wrong. I mean, it's not impossible to think. You know, once they're out of the championship and all that, you know, why not just lean over and say, "Hey, you guys need some help." Yeah.
It was about that time where the owner's points started and stopped. You know, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a decent theory. Why not? Why wouldn't you want to? If I'm Toyota, why wouldn't I want to bring them in house and get them rolling now?
Make them some money now. You already know they're going to be your team, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
You want to start. Yeah, if you're Toyota, you know that they've been struggling, and you want to start righting the ship now, not at Daytona next year.
100%. Like, why let them keep losing money when you know you're going to acquire them? So,
yeah, it's a very good theory.
Yep. I think Toyota's kind of helping out, giving some info. Let's move on to the Roval. Start with the Cup race.
Yeah.
AJ Allmendinger.
The Dinger.
I loved it. I was
mad in the moment, but I'm happy for AJ.
Yeah, you're mad because Kyle Busch.
But... I was mad because of Kyle Busch. I'm happy for AJ. Good for him. He's one of those. He always has one of the really good celebrations. Like whenever he celebrates and wins, like he's just fucking pumped. Like, I mean, he sat there. I thought he was gonna blow the motor up because he sat there on the chip for like a minute, just.
Yep. Then he gets out, runs into the stands with the fans, and
like you're gonna get a grade A celebration from AJ every time.
Yep. And the raw emotion, like he's crying and he apologized. Oh, I don't want to do this. And they asked him, why is he so emotional? He said, because you don't know when you get your last one.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's right. This is probably his last Cup win because he's going to Xfinity. I mean, it's almost the writing's on the wall. So it's amazing for him. Great for the team, but for AJ, I think he knows that's it.
Yeah.
He drove a hell of a race. I'll give him that.
He did.
Like, I thought Kyle Busch was going to take him out or something just so Kyle could advance, but Kyle's kind of a stand-up guy anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think Kyle was going to take him out. I was really hoping for, and what I think Kyle was trying to do on that last restart is run him wide as they were coming to the line. I think he was trying to just take all the track he could and then maybe run him wide in one. I think that's about the worst he was going to do. He wasn't going to like send him or anything. If he could, he might, sort of nudge him or something, but I think he was mostly just going to try to run him out of the track a little bit, run him wide out of the corners. But it's probably so hard to get the power down when you're with that new restart zone in the middle of the corner. Like you're just
100%.
Especially on worn tires. Good luck.
Kind of surprised how much that inside lane struggled on that restart zone. Like they just couldn't get going. But honestly, I think it worked for what they wanted it to do.
Well, it's so weird, right? Like NASCAR, they do this stuff. It's like counterintuitive all the time. Like they go against themselves. Like so they 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 brought back stage cautions because the race wasn't exciting enough and wasn't the road races were boring and they needed to add some sort of craziness to it. But then you take the restart zone and tame the restart zone down. So it's like I don't know. Like part of what made the Roval in particular crazy was how fast they would go into turn one and how they would all bottle up there. So I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how they do stuff all the time. I mean, Atlanta, not to go too far off topic, but Atlanta, they paved it with asphalt that's supposed to wear quickly, but they wanted to make it a super speedway. Well, why would you want the asphalt to wear quickly then?
I'm hoping that with the playoff race, they take the plates off or whatever it is, the restriction. But
I think they will eventually. I don't know if they'll do it that soon, but I think there'll come a time. Oh, excuse me, where it doesn't provide the type of racing that they're looking for anymore. But not to get too far off topic. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as Kyle Busch goes, I was frustrated, but it wasn't that race that cost us the championship or cost us our playoff run. It was the summer of midness. They just kind of, we were great at the start of the season, but then halfway through we just hit a slump and couldn't get going. So it is what it is.
So you were mentioning NASCAR being counterintuitive. Stage cautions returned.
Yes.
Yeah, I still don't like it. I will say one of your drivers, Christopher Bell, they made a great move at the first stage.
They did. I was first and Adam Stevens out at first.
So I'm sitting there next to the girlfriend watching the race, and like I'm looking at the guys pit, and I'm like, they're 35, 40 seconds back, and I'm like, and they're coming out top 10 still. I'm like, and I'm a huge Reddick fan, so I'm like, Reddick, you got to pit. And then Christopher Bell pits with 3 to go, and he comes out like 5th. And I'm like, pit. You have to pit because this is the move, right? And they don't, and they fall back to like 23rd or something like that on the restart. And it's just like, ouch, that hurt. They never really recovered. When did you see Reddick get back to lead? He didn't, right? Same with Bubba. And
but speaking of which, Bubba was doing insanely well.
Yeah, I mean, he was running
Shout
third
out to the guy who always says
stage.
how much he sucks at road courses. He's really improved.
Yeah, no, he's stepped it up, which I bet Reddick has helped a lot with that.
I think they're working a lot together,
Yeah, but both of them, they change their whole day with the stage caution and the whole hit stop, short pit, and all that stuff. And I didn't like it. I think
I don't like it either. I don't like
a top 5.
I don't like how you have to choose. I don't like how you have to choose between, do I want to go for points or the win? Like, no, I'm not a fan of that. You're getting penalized for trying to race a certain way. It's just, I don't know, it's dumb to me. But yeah, I was hoping that Bell was just going to collect points because that's all he needed to do. Collect some points, get a good gap on that line. When I saw Adam Stevens pit him, I'm like, Adam, you fucking idiot. And then they came out like 5th, where I was like, all right, you're smarter than I am.
Yeah. I mean, you pit, you lose 2 spots, and you get the lead. It worked out really well, and I really wish Reddick would have done it. I think Kyle Busch would have been the stage winner if Reddick and Bubba pit.
I don't know if Kyle should have played points or not. I guess that's a great question. What if? But I don't know. I just wonder if they would have played for points, what would have happened? But then he wouldn't have been top 5 on that last go anyway, and he still might have been in a position to have to win or whatever. So I guess it's irrelevant.
Yep. So we talked about Bubba, how he was running well, and then he pit and never made it back up. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about the whole? I think it was Suarez caused a wreck.
A wrecking ball.
Spinning Bubba. Yeah. It catches Bubba in the back end. He spins, gets it going back, does like a 360, keeps going, but then he has to stop on track.
Yeah, that's dumb.
For a penalty.
That's stupid.
Why in this day of age can we not just have it? Did you gain positions or time? No.
Right.
No penalty.
It's not hard to figure out. Like, I mean, even if you break even, give him a penalty. I don't care. But like clearly he was spinning out. He was not in control of the vehicle. So if he wasn't trying to be cheeky and cut the thing. He spun out, lost positions. Like you can just say, all right, you're fine. Because like what happens? I mean, we always like to play the what if game, but like what if, I don't know, you're coming to the line and you have that chicane right before the start finish line, and you just shove a guy through the corner and push him through, and he has to do a stop go, and you get a free pass and win the race. Like that would be terrible. I don't know if anybody's going to do that, but the door's certainly open to do it.
So, and this is kind of a little off topic, but this happened in a MotoGP race. I don't know, probably 10 years ago now. But Marc Marquez was chasing down Valentino Rossi, and they have a chicane right before, the straightaway and where the checker flag is, right? And Marc Marquez dives in. He's got the position. He's going to win this race. But Valentino bumps off the side of him and then jumps the gravel pit and just goes straight onto the straightaway, where Marquez then goes and does the chicane. And they gave the win to Marc Marquez, or not Marc Marquez, to Valentino Rossi. It's like, I don't know, He could have tried to make that turn, but he didn't. Instead, he just kind of went a shortcut. But yeah, I mean, I could see it happening. But again, I think NASCAR's got to look at it with, a smart head and go,
right. We got to have some common sense.
Like, you can look at lap times. Like, this guy was 2 seconds faster on this lap because of this penalty. Right. But this guy gained 5 positions, penalty. This guy lost 5, no penalty. It's not hard. I don't think he should have had to do, the drive-through. It screwed him. Or not drive-through, stopping.
If you spin, that's already like worse than a stop and go. So
if it's a self-spin, maybe. I get that. But he was caught up in a wreck. That was not his fault.
Right. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with like reviewing something for a couple laps. Like that's what F1 does. They take time to review an incident and then make a call. You don't have to make a call in the moment. You can put some. I think IndyCar does the same thing. Like, all right, this is under investigation. We're gonna look at it. Like, what's wrong with doing that?
100%. I think that's what they should have done. Like when I saw him like stopping, I was like, why didn't he just keep going until NASCAR said you have to do this, right?
Because then what they'll do is they'll do what they did to Brad Kay and just send him through first pass through, which is even worse yet.
Yep, 100%. Speaking of Suarez, he had a rough day.
Yeah, he did.
Christopher Bell took him
out.
Yeah, boy. Yeah. How do you feel about that one?
I don't know. Listen, Suarez races a certain type of way. He was a wrecking ball. He's a bit of a wrecking ball. We meme on Ross, but I feel like Ross has calmed down a little bit. But I feel like Suarez can kind of get forgotten sometimes. He does some goofy shit. So I don't know if Bell meant to wreck him. I don't know. I don't really know what Bell meant to do there, because I mean he came over the radio and said, "Did I get into him?" And the spotter said, "Yep." And Bell didn't say anything, and nobody asked any questions about it. Like I didn't see any post race interview about it or nothing. So could there have been something between the two that we didn't see? Yes. Could Bell have been just trying to move him out of the way? Because we do know Daniel, I think, can be hard to pass. So was he just trying to move him out of the way so he could get by and it went wrong? Sure. Or was he trying to flat out wreck him? I don't know. I could see all of them. But, I don't see Bell doing it without cause. Like, I don't think Bell's the kind of guy that's just going to flat wreck you. So,
no.
If
I think he was being held up and he won it back.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard to say. I didn't hear anything about it after the race from anybody. So I have no idea.
Yeah. All right. So we're done with the Roval. We moved on. It was an elimination race.
Yep.
And we had 4 drivers that did not advance.
Yep.
Kyle Busch.
Dun, dun, dun.
Bubba Wallace. Ross Chastain and Brad Keselowski did not advance. So we're sad to see them go.
Bye, boys.
I thought Ross was gonna make it one more round. I really did, but Kyle Tyler Reddick jumps up. He made it into the top 8, which I wasn't really surprised with him just being 2 down from Brad going into the race. Kind of expected Brad to have a bad race.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, Martin Truex, he was getting kind of close to getting cut there at the end.
Yeah,
Another bad race. Like you mentioned before, his best finish so far has been 17th in the playoffs.
It's bad.
It is. It's so bad. And now he's plus 15 over the cut line. Like, I hate it. It makes no sense to me. But
yeah, I mean, I think this is just, if I'm a driver in another team, like I was saying earlier, like this is your sign that you need to prioritize these playoff points. Because look at how bad of a run you can have, especially if we're gonna have these extra wildcard races next year. Look at how badly you can do and still make it, and still be on top of the board. So
yeah, I mean, why not just race for winning stage wins? Like that's all you got to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, chase them stages.
Checkers or records. Yeah,
chase them stage. I mean, the regular season championship is super important. So chase all the stage points you can get.
Yep. So looking at the points here, William Byron's first, Martin Truex, Denny, Kyle Larson +3 over the cut line, Chris Buescher, Tyler Reddick 8 back, Bell 8 back, and Ryan Blaney 10 back. So out of those 8, who will not advance? Like, who do you look at and go, nah, that guy doesn't have it?
Blaney's an easy one for me to pick.
Because he's in a Ford.
Because he's in a Ford, I don't know. I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna give Blaney the benefit of the doubt and blame the car, not him. But Blaney also does have a history of sort of having mistakes. I mean, remember last year, I think it was at Homestead, he had like a speeding penalty, or like he spun coming off a pit road. He had the speeding penalty somewhere where he was doing really well. Where was that? It was only a couple weeks ago. Was it Texas? Where he was in good position. Then he had a speeding penalty.
I think so.
It might have been
really
Texas,
don't
because
remember.
that might have been, I don't know. But he
was
does have a
Texas,
habit of having these shitty things happen. But and then you combine that with the car, just Ford's just all around just seem to lack something. They have their moments, but they compared to Chevy and Toyota, they don't seem to be able to keep up as well. I mean, what top 3 this week were Chevy, if I recall, and then Toyota. I think Ty Gibbs was 4th, wasn't he?
Yeah, best finish. Ty Gibbs.
So he's an easy one for me to pick. I don't know. It gets really difficult from there, though. I think I'd go Buescher just for the same reason. Because Ford just seems to be, we're going to mile and a half, which is Chevy and Toyota really strong at. I don't like, this is the point now where like I'm not picking somebody because I think they're shit. Like it's just a tough decision. Yeah. So I would have to say Buescher's probably out. I don't know. I think if Martin keeps going the way he's going, he's got to be out.
Yeah.
He's got no momentum.
I'm gonna laugh when he wins all 3 of these races. Like they're like, we knew, so we just saved.
We're back.
Yeah.
Yep. We were just working on Vegas all year, or all playoffs.
Yeah. Vegas, Homestead, and they're just going Vegas and Phoenix. That's it. That's all they care about.
Who am I missing? So I picked
Blaney, Buescher, then
Truex.
You got Bell, Reddick, Larson, Hamlin, Byron.
So just as easily I picked those 3 to be out. I'm also saying Larson, Hamlin, and Byron are in. It's that 4th and 5th spot. Bell and Reddick. That's where I'm really going back and forth. I think if Reddick can win Homestead. So if Reddick wins Homestead, boom, he's in. But I think Bell can be very fast at all 3 tracks. The key is making sure there's no mistakes, so the pit crew can't screw up. Adam Stevens can't screw up. Bell himself can't overdrive the car and screw up, which have all been known to happen. So that'll be the trick. I think, to me, that's the hard one to pick between those two.
Yeah, looking at the list for me, it's like I can kind of make a case for everybody. I could see Blaney being fast at Vegas and Martinsville.
Mm-hmm.
Christopher Bell, I have this weird feeling he's going to win this week. I don't know what it is, but I'm just like, Bell's going to advance.
And I think he's good at all three tracks. I don't think he's like great at them, but he's good at them.
Yep. So I think he has a chance. Reddick, we know that, he's going to be fast at Vegas and Homestead.
Mm-hmm.
Then, Buscher's just quietly been like top 5 in all these 1.5 races. So
he finished 7th this weekend, didn't he? I didn't even know where he finished. I picked him. And
yeah. I think you had 7th and I was 9th.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, another good run. He's getting
very
points, quiet. And they're not talking about him, but he's still there.
They Kyle never Larson. Do.
It's Kyle Larson, but that team's just been making little mistakes here and there, and Kyle's been making mistakes. I mean, he spun out at Texas, right? Mm-hmm. That was a win, and so.
I mean, he put them behind the Roval this week when he crashed it in practice. Yeah, he put them. 100%. He made them start in the rear.
Yep. Denny Hamlin, probably the most consistent so far, right?
Denny and Byron. It's hard.
I think I'm locking.
I think Byron has Hamlin the better. In. I think Byron has the better average finish, but
really?
I mean,
okay.
Both of them guys are on fire right now. A better average finish in the playoffs, I'll say.
I don't know about Hamlin did just have a 36th place finish.
He did have that. Well, he had that, and then what was it, Darlington?
Oh, that's right. He had the incident.
Darlington, he had some trouble, but it wasn't for a lack of speed. And I mean, I think he had okay speed yesterday, so they just got caught up in some shit.
Yeah, I think he had a penalty at Darlington, which put him in the back. But yeah, Byron. I mean,
I think you're right.
I'd say right now Hamlin and Byron locked in for me.
Yeah, I think
and Larson.
They got to be on everybody's list.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see if Truex, that whole team, can bounce back because they have been awful.
So bad. I'm giving Larson the benefit of the doubt just because Cliff Daniels is annoyingly he's so good at being crew chief. Yep. He's so smart and so annoying. And Larson is also annoyingly good at driving a race car. So I'm giving them guys the benefit of the doubt to, figure out whatever it is they got going on and make it through. I think Truex, he's the one that's, what the hell are you doing? I don't trust them guys to bounce back at all.
Yeah. But I mean, like I said, I can make a case for everybody here.
Sure. I mean, I could even make a case for, I picked Blaney first. I could make a case for him to move on too. It's that this round, I think, is very well stacked because I was trying to think of who doesn't belong, and I really can't. I mean, I feel like, as much as we say the playoffs create random situations and potentially, undeserving champions, I feel like this round of 8 is at least all deserving to be here.
Yeah. And before the playoffs even started, I was looking at it and I was just, again, as a Reddick fan, going, if he makes this round, he's got a very good shot at the championship race.
Yeah.
Because it plays so well into his hands. Like, everybody knows Homestead is, the Reddick line, which is also the Larson line, but Reddick runs it so well.
Yeah, I think Reddick's the one to beat there more so than Larson. Everybody loves to say it's Larson's house, but I mean, he's only won there once, I think. So I don't know. Larson would run the high line, but he'd always stuff it in the wall. Now he's got this car with the whatever body, what do they call it, composite body, where you can get away with it. So maybe that plays into his favor. But I mean, I just feel like every time before when we had the steel bodies, Larson could get up next to that wall, but he would always eventually just tag it and sort of mess up the handling on his car, and he would just fall off.
Yep. And I mean, Vegas, very similar to Kansas. That whole 2311 team runs awesome every time at those kind of tracks. So, like I said, I think the first 2 races are Reddick's if, they can just keep it clean. But we'll
Yeah.
see. We got more in the playoffs coming up in another area, so let's just jump to kill count real quick. Corey LaJoie extends his kill count lead.
Gee whiz. Like, did that look intentional to you? Like, that looked on purpose as fuck to me.
It did. It did. He just kind of dumped him.
He just like, I'm taking you up the track and into the wall.
Stenhouse took out Jones, which actually they were both Jones, weren't they? Wasn't LaJoie taking out Jones? Yeah. So Jones
I don't
getting
remember
a
that.
rough day there.
I'm completely spacing on that one.
Stenhouse, it was it turn 2? That's the one that McDowell got into.
I just remember McDowell being wrecked, but I don't remember that wreck for some reason.
Yep. That was Stenhouse that wrecked him. And then we gave Bell 1 for the Suarez incident, and then we gave Suarez 2 for the. I can't even think who it was. Bubba and who else is the other car?
I think it was Cindric.
That a Spire car? Okay.
I think it might have been Cindric.
Might be right. Just because I just now remembered Stenhouse fire. Holy shit, that car just engulfed in flames.
Yeah, and I guess that was the rubber issue that we thought was fixed, but apparently it's not.
Yeah.
So that's not good.
we saw it more before, but yeah, that was a big fire. And he was in that car for a while. I was like, holy shit,
he's
get
just
him out
chilling.
of this car. But yeah, he gets out and he's just like, oh, whatever, my car is burning down. There's flames inside, whatever.
Yeah.
But that was a big fire. Let's move on to Survivor Pool.
Survivor. Let me get in my tab. All right. So I won again on Survivor Pool with Chris Buescher, as I said. He was P7, and then Andrew was second with Chase, who was 9th. And then it fell off for the boys. Drake was third with Truex, who finished 19th or 20th. I'm sorry. And then Joe rounded us out with Denny. 37th. Yep. So we got both ends of the field covered there.
Yeah, yep. So obviously Joe and Drake are not here, so
they're not.
Kyle Larson.
Yep, Joe went with old Kyle Larson.
What's Austin got?
Decent pick. I don't know if I'd pick Kyle Larson for this week, but whatever.
I probably would have saved him.
I think I would have saved him. Yeah. Well, maybe that's why I picked him, because he knows he's going to be a hot one for Homestead, so you better get him while you can. And then Drake has William Byron. Good pick. I think that's who I was going to pick, because he won here, didn't he? Didn't they win here in the spring?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a great pick. Andrew, who you got?
I'm going with the Vegas boy, Kyle Busch. I think he's going to run well.
Well, I think, running without the pressure of the playoffs might do them guys some good. So maybe you'll see a little extra zest this weekend.
I can see it.
Oh, excuse me, get late. I'm gonna go with old DH this week. Hopefully, they don't lose some momentum with the Roval, but I think they're gonna come out swinging for this round of 8. So photos should be fast. So I'm gonna burn my Denny pick.
What do we got for overall standings?
Overall standings for the playoffs?
For Survivor.
Oh, Survivor. I don't know. You're still winning, I think. Look.
Yeah.
Yep, you're winning. You got 90 points. Drake's got 88. Joe's at 87. And I'm rallying back. I got 81. 2 straight wins. I just need you to finish last, I think.
Yeah.
And then once Drake gets the lead, then I need him to finish last.
Yeah. I don't think it's physically possible for you to get it.
I feel like there's got to be a way, but everybody has to finish exactly right. Like, it can't just be like I have to win out the rest of the season, and you guys have to finish in the right order.
You need Joe to get a second once, and then Drake and I to finish last and second to last every time.
Yeah,
maybe.
Pretty much.
I don't know.
I haven't done the math.
If you come back and win it.
Right. Yeah, we'll see. I think mathematically there's a combination, but I think every week you guys have to finish in the exact right order for it to happen.
Yeah.
If I can come back and get like third, though, I feel pretty good about that.
Dude,
I'm not
if
gonna
you
win.
pass Joe or Austin or myself, that'd be hilarious, honestly. Like, you were so far back, and now you're just like, what was a second win-win? Like, getting there. But
we're coming up.
all right, we're gonna round this show off with 2 OnlyFans questions. One of them's kind of a big one. The other one will be really quick, I think. And we're gonna start off with Rory. I already screwed up his name, Rory. I'm pretty sure is one of the hosts of the Laying Coin podcast. He asked, "Who's y'all's final 4 picks?"
Well,
so
we kind of went over that already, but I
figured we could do it quick.
I think my final 4. Do you want to go first, or I can go first?
Yeah, I'll just go by what we had for our original list. Byron, Hamlin, Larson, and then I'm gonna change it up, and I'm gonna go Reddick.
Nice. Mine's gonna be the same, but with Bell instead of Reddick, and that's just my fandom coming through.
That's kind of mine too.
That's the only reason I'm picking him, is just because I'm a fan. That's the only really X factor I can put in between those two, because I really have no idea.
Yep.
But I think our top 3 are sort of locked in. Larson, I don't feel so great about, but I think Byron and Hamlin definitely are.
As far as our pre-playoff picks, Zach is doing the best, except for he had Busch go into the final 4. Who else? Oh, Blaney. He had Blaney out of the top 8.
Optimistic, which I would have been right had he not freaking won. Dega. I would have had that one locked in too.
Yeah, but none of us had Blaney go into the top 8. I also had Bell going out in the round of 12. Joe had Larson, Bell, and Blaney not making the top 8. And then, who was it? Austin had Busher, Reddick, and Blaney not making it. He also had Logano go into the final 4. So we're kind of all over the place. Oh, Joe had Busch go into the final 4 also. I think you did too, right?
Yes. Yeah, so I let my fandom take control of that decision.
But yep, that's our picks. Thank you, Rory, for the OnlyFans question here.
Love OnlyFans questions.
We're gonna finish off with the easy one. Liam comes in. What is one feature you would put in the 2025 iRacing NASCAR game? And I already know your answer, but I'm gonna let you say it.
My answer? What would my answer be? Now you put me on the spot.
You want a career mode like Dirt to Daytona.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I was thinking. I thought that was a given. I was gonna think of something else. Try to think of something else.
I mean, go ahead.
Maybe something like a smaller feature. You know what I want? I want the ability to drive onto pit road and do the pit stop like you do in iRacing.
Yes.
My biggest complaint in console games, and specifically console NASCAR games, is auto pit. Like, why? What's the point of doing it if I can't fuck it up? That's like, you can speed onto pit road, but like, that's it. After that, it's fine. And even in games like Forza, they make you pit, and you can haul ass into the pit lane at 180 miles an hour, and then just put you at pit road speed, and you're fine. It's just it's a Joker lap at that point. So I hope what they do. I don't need to control the car under caution, because that's tedious and boring. But let me do the pit stop.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, obviously, I want a good career mode, and it doesn't even have to be the Dirt to Daytona style, but I want, and one of the older NASCAR games had it, but where you could upgrade your shop, and you could buy a new shop if you wanted to, and you just had all these little details that, you know, don't really matter, but it makes it like your team.
Well, it's like the difference between like making it just like a career mode and making it like you're an owner driver, and like there's more going on. I mean, that's what made Dirt to Daytona so fun, is, you know, I don't think you upgraded like your shop and stuff like that, but you had to upgrade your cars, you had to buy parts and stuff like that, make them faster, and you had to hire people. There was a little bit of a management aspect, so you like hire pit crews and different engine builders and whatnot. So yeah, that'd be cool. I'm trying to keep my expectations low though, because like this is gonna be their first game, right? So they gotta build it. from nothing. So we might be a little barren on like features like that. So I'm trying to keep my expectations realistic. And just understand that in the very first edition there might not be a super in-depth career mode like we're hoping for, or something might not be there. As long as the game feels good, like it has good driving physics and looks good and sounds good, I think it'll be a success.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just generally cannot wait, honestly.
Yeah. I'm super pumped.
I might even buy a freaking new Xbox, even though I'll probably play it on PC. But yeah, Liam, thank you for the question. Rory,
You get an
same
Xbox?
thing.
I was thinking about getting a PS5. I kind of want to get a console, but I don't know if I want to get an Xbox.
The Xbox Game Pass is where it's at, man. Like,
but you can play all them games on your PC.
Yeah, but
like, I'm playing Forza right now on Game Pass
on
my PC.
Yeah, 100%. I don't disagree, but if I'm like in my living room or something, I want to be able to just like sit back and, you know. I know they got the was it the Cloud Play? There's like a Stream Play or something, but I'm not interested. I don't want to set anything up. Like, let me just hit a button and go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that will do it for us tonight. We want to thank everybody for joining on the YouTube, even though we had some technical issues.
It was a rough night on the old YouTube channel.
Yeah. You won't notice on the podcast because I'll edit everything out. But yeah, Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening to, thank you. Check our TikTok out, our Instagram, our Facebook, which is kind of dead, which is my fault because Facebook is awful.
It's a cesspool of just...
Dude, it's so bad. So bad. But yeah, we're everywhere. Check us out. It's usually at the GWC pod. And yeah, thanks for listening, everybody.
Oh, we did just a side announcement, small announcement. We started working on the GWC podcast Rolex 24.
Oh yeah.
Scheme. So that's going to be happening, which I'm sure somebody will stream it whenever that goes down. We'll be doing that in iRacing. It's a small announcement there. I think I know I'm doing it. I think Andrew, you're doing it.
Yep.
Pretty sure Drake's doing it.
We're gonna run it back.
We might have friend of the show Gary Waterworth in it.
Ooh.
I think he said he's down.
Hell yeah.
And our IT professional Tom, I think he's gonna run with us. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, nice. I think so. So
very
it'll
nice.
Be a fun event. We always love the 24. Like I said, I think Andrew or Drake or somebody will stream it. And yeah.
Maybe we'll stream it on here and stream it on Twitch, I'm sure.
Yeah. Whenever I get the paint scheme completed, I'll release it on the Twitters.
Yep.
For all to see.
Follow us on Twitter, and you'll see the awesome paint schemes. Zach's a great painter, so that'll be up.
Okay.
Until next week. Until next week. Thank you for listening.
Yep.
Peace out.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good week.
I love you.
Nice. You got it in. I thought about doing it. I was like, no.